Hi everyone, Dion Johnson here, the Womanologist, and welcome to this live broadcast. 2020, the year of the pivot. If you're joining me live, I would love for you to say hi to me in the chat so that I can know that you're here with me. And if you're watching on the replay, then please do go ahead and say hi in the chat anyway. I will definitely be checking back on the comments later. I really am coming on to bring you this impromptu message because I'm just realizing some things that I'm just really excited about sharing with you. So as you're joining, please say hi to me in the chat. Literally, I know that this is impromptu and I've just decided to go live, but it's going to be worth it. So hang with me. Let me just check to see if I'm live. I've been having some problems with my YouTube live, so hopefully you can hear me. I can see that someone's watching, so please say hi to me. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Okay, so this is not scripted. This is very impromptu, but I want to talk to you about the year of the pivot. My name's Dion Johnson. I'm the Womanologist, and my work is really all about supporting women in senior leadership to be more influential in their roles, to make more difference, to lead hard change, to tackle hard things. And this is important, and I'll share with you why. But there's been no doubt that 2020 has been a challenging year for us all. There's been no doubt that 2020, as whether you've been affected personally by the pandemic or not, whether you are personally affected by Black Lives Matter and all the racial unrest that's happening or not, this has been a challenging year. The truth is that if not you, then someone very close to you has really been impacted by this world-changing, global shifting year. And, you know, we are now in December, looking at crossing over into 2021, and there's just so much for us to get our heads around. There's just so much for us to think about in terms, if we're going to make the most, if we're going to take what we've learned from 2020 into 21, and we're going to use it to create a shift. We're going to use it to make things different. We're going to use it to make things better in 2021, and as women and leaders. And as I've been contemplating this, I've been hearing in my heart that 2020 has been the year of the pivot. You may have heard businesses talking about the fact that they've had to pivot. And what people usually mean when they say this is that they've had to go, change direction. They've had to move their business. They had to take their business from one way of doing things to another way of doing things. They've had to find creative and new ways. They've had to change direction in business, in industry, in organizational operation. People have had to pivot this year. So that, because I was hearing it so loud in my heart, I thought that what I would do is go and just look to see what the word pivot really means. What does pivot really mean? And I've got the definition here. I want to read it to you. Pivot is the central point, or the pin or shaft on which a mechanism turns or oscillates. It's a central point, pin, or shaft on which a mechanism turns or oscillates. So think about this for a minute. When you've been hearing people talking about pivoting, what they've been talking about is the turning and the change in direction. But what we're reading here is that pivoting is not so much the turning, it is the central point. It is the stake in the ground. It's the stabilizing central stake point in the ground that anything that you can turn things on. Now, this was revelation to me, because in my thinking, when I thought about pivot, I thought about the actual movement of change in direction. But actually what we can see happening here is that pivot's not the moving it by itself. It's really the identifying. It's like the stake in the ground. It's like creating the central point, creating the bit that's fixed, creating the bit that's unmovable. Now, this was really revolutionary for me. Like, this opened up my eyes in a whole new way. And what I've realized is that we really need to be thinking about what in business, what in life, what in leadership is our central point. This year of pivot is about us getting really clear on what the non-negotiable one thing is that's central in our business. Because here's how it works. It works that if you can identify what your pivot is, then it doesn't matter whether you go here or there or over there or back there. It doesn't matter which direction you turn in, it's always going to keep coming back to. It's always going to keep leading to this central theme, this central point, this central non-negotiable thing. Well, that put a whole different light on it for me. And I want to know if it's putting a whole different light on it for you. I want you to think about, what is that? What is the central thing that your business, that your leadership, that your mission, that your work, that your organization stands on? What is the central point? What is your pivot? It's not too late to be asking this in 2020, the year of the pivot. And I believe that it's an essential key part to us moving into 2021 with momentum, with us moving into 2021 with clarity, with understanding, and with ability to hit the ground running. I believe that we need to take this instruction, this direction to pivot seriously, and we need to understand that pivoting is about finding the central theme, the central point of our work and our leadership. So I've been doing this work myself, and I've been really trying to work out, what is my pivot? What is my central point? And I'm asking you to do the same too. Here's what I found out with mine. And I literally have just done this. I don't know if you can see that, but I've literally just worked out what is my pivot. And here's what it is. It's women leading hard change. Women leading hard change. This is at the core of everything that I do. I've gone through several ideas about what it could be, but when the push comes to shove, what my work is really all about is facilitating women leading hard change. I could really do a series on each of those words. Women leading hard change. What this really conjures up for me is the fact that we've got some really prolific problems, that COVID-19, the whole Black Lives Matter and all the global unrest has really revealed to us that we've got some very big challenges ahead in 2021 and beyond for this decade. Inequality is a huge issue. Mental health is a huge issue. Marginalization and segregation and isolation of people is a huge issue. Racism, sexism, all the isms, they're huge issues that we really need to be getting a handle on through marketplace activity and through marketplace leadership. And so when I think about all of that, I think for me, my pivot is women leading hard change. That we have got such a lot of work to do. And women, I believe, are a key part of creating the success of that shift, the success of that movement, the success of those missions to lead hard change. But in order for us to be able to play our role, in order for women to play our role, we need to do all kinds of things to prepare. We need to heal. We need to get our head straight. We need to develop our message and our hook, and we need to get a handle on things. And that's why right around the central pivot, I can do all manner of things. I can go this way to senior leadership development. I can go this way to talking about self-care. I can go this way to developing services and systems that help women leading hard change. I can talk about sisterhood and create platforms for sisterhood, and that will also help and feed into women leading hard change. I'm a straight talker. I can deal with straight talk, and we can tell stories, and we can create sisterhoods, but it will always be swiveling, oscillating, turning on women leading hard change. So my question to you is, what's your pivot? What's the central thing that's holding that your everything goes around, everything circulates? What's the central point in your business? It's not too late to find this out, and I'm suggesting that we really need to do this work to identify our central theme, our central vision, our central mission, our central core theme for going forward in 2021. No matter which way the wind blows, no matter how we have to respond, moving this way or that, pivoting is about finding that central place. I'm really encouraging you to do that. See you later.